तुम्ही रिधी तुम्ही मर्मा त्वं हि प्राणाः शरीरे बाहुते तुम्ही मा शक्ति हृदये तुम्ही मा भक्ति तुम्हारी प्रतिमा गढ़ी मंदिरे मंदिरे वंदे मातरम् त्वं हि दुर्गा दश प्रहरण धारिणी कमला कमलदल विहारिणी वाणी विद्यादायिनी नमामि त्वां नमामि कमला ममला अतुला सुजला सुफला मातरम् वन्दे मातरम् श्यामलां सरलां सुस्मितां भूषितां धरणीं धरणीं मातरम् वन्दे मातरम् वन्दे मातरम्।
भारत माता की जय।
Friends, Pragya Bharati has been a nationalistic thinking forum for the past 27 years, founded in 91. Hanuman Chaudhary Garu was a founding member. Along with him, Ram Madhav ji, Vakati Panduranga Rao Garu, B.S. Sharma Garu, and Harihar Sharma Garu. 5 of them joined together to form this organization called Pragya Bharati. Pragya Bharati essentially aims to instill sense of national pride and nationalism among intellectuals. It's not that intellectuals are not nationalistic, but we do have a section of intelligentsia or intellectuals who think criticizing this culture, condemning this history, and towing the line of our invaders or imperialists is intelligence. So Pragya Bharati aims to really revive that nationalism among this class of people who have been radicalized in terms of the Western education, the Machiavellian system. We are all products of, we can say we are all Macaulay Putras. We are all products of the same system. So we can't really blame all of them. But then when we start showing the true nature of the Bharatiya civilization, Bharatiya thought and culture, obviously it's a completely different narrative. There is no civilization in the world which could ever stand up to the glory and greatness of Bharat. Pragya Bharati works in that field. Not just that, Pragya Bharati also invests in trying to give content to people who are fighting for the nationalistic causes. There are a lot of people who work for causes which are very important to the nation, but then they may not know the content. For instance, you take the case of Article 370 or the Citizenship Amendment Act or certain major things that happen in the country. We see how the narrative is being hijacked by people who are inimical or anti-India. Pragya Bharati tries to give the foot soldiers who are fighting for this nation that content which will enable them to fight such battles. We also publish a magazine called Bharatiya Pragya, which has entered its 20th year this year. It's an English monthly magazine. We request all of you, whoever have not subscribed, to kindly subscribe to it. Our team here would help you out with the subscription. It is about 500 rupees for a biannual subscription. It does not contain regular articles. It does not contain content which normally you would see in the newspapers and magazines. But then it has in-depth, high intellectual caliber articles which go into it. So I would encourage all of you to kindly subscribe to it so that you would also come into our database and could be part of our future programs as well. Pragya Bharati also does, we do, for doing these two activities, we conduct seminars, conferences, roundtables, discussions, debates, and we also produce people who are now able to go and represent the right point of view in the TV debates or in other fora or go to educational institutions and present the right perspective. We also invest in producing people who can be foot soldiers to this cause in the future to come. Pragya Bharati also announces, actually we give an award called Pragya Puraskar, which is an annual award. We give to people who have contributed significantly for the cause of Bharat, its national culture, and for strengthening its glory. The last recipient was Dr. Satish Reddy, who was instrumental in indigenizing the navigation technology of our missiles. So we have a very illustrious list of people that we have been awarding in the years gone by. Friends, this is a brief introduction of Pragya Bharati. But then, let's come to today's topic. As you all are aware, the entire narrative has been twisted, manipulated, either misunderstood or willfully distorted over the past at least a century or a little more. Especially after the colonial takeover of this country, we have seen a significant amount of distortion that has happened in our national narrative. So we thought we should invest in trying to present scientifically, presentable aspects of the narrative which has been hidden from us or which has been willfully taken away from us. Dr. Raj Vedam is a very well-known personality. He's got lakhs of views on the speeches that he has presented in YouTube. You would have checked it up. We will come to Raj Vedam Garu in a minute, but then this topic is something which is very crucial for us. If we do not change the narrative that is going on, we will have a generation again created which is dark in skin but is still a colonial puppet which still sings to the tunes of its master. We are seeing what is happening in JNU or Aligarh Muslim University, where we have the Tukde gangs and we have so many people who have distorted narrative of it. We have people who are calling Kashmir, India as an occupying force in Kashmir or in Hyderabad. So that kind of a historical blunders we need to rectify. This talk is one such effort from our side, and I would now request our chairman, Dr. Hanuman Chaudhary Garu, to kindly give his talk.
नमस्कार, आप सब बोलिए नमस्कार. गुड. जय श्री राम. और जय श्री राम. जय श्री राम. We should preface every talk, every meeting with these two words. Namaskar reflects the culture of Bharat, and Rama is Dharma personified. That's why everywhere, every time, I start my talk with these two words. Friends, those who don't learn from the mistakes of the past are condemned to repeat them. Judge Santayana, a great philosopher and a historian, those who don't learn from the mistakes of the past are bound to repeat them. And he who controls the past controls the future, and he who controls the present controls the past. Who controls the present controls the past. This is what has been happening in India since we gained independence. अंग्रेज तो चले गए, लेकिन उनके औलाद को इधर छोड़ के गए हैं, उसके औलाद को छोड़ के गए हैं. That's why India's history has been totally distorted as presented by their eminences who are ensconced in the Marxist Madrasa, otherwise called Jawaharlal Nehru University. Friends, they have been depicting India as an empty space. Therefore, so many people from everywhere in the world had come here. One झुंड के बाद और एक झुंड आ गए हैं, and Indians have been defeated several times. So it is a nation of defeats and not a nation. In fact, it is not even a nation. This is the narrative that the historians, self-styled eminence of the Jawaharlal Nehru University, ably assisted by those in the Aligarh Muslim University, Jamia Millia, and such central universities. The latest is the Maulana Abul Kalam Azad National Urdu University in Hyderabad. So from here, a poison is being split, saying history, India's history is one of defeats, not knowing what a glorious it was. Veer Savarkar has written a book, 6 Glorious Epochs in India's History. The first epoch, he said, was Chandragupta and Chanakya. Alexander, the world conqueror, he was opposed by Porus, a small potentate in one corner of India. And the opposition to him was such that the Greek soldiers said no further. He came to conquer India, whose capital was Pataliputra, but he had to go away. And later on, this Chanakya and Chandragupta, they had to dethrone, they had to assassinate Mahapadmananda. He was a useless king. So that the Greeks were subjugated. The remnants of the Greeks he left here and there, etc., had been subjugated. That's one glorious one. Then afterwards, the Kushanas, the Bactrians, so many people from the Central Asia came into India. All of them were defeated, one after another, one after another. It's a long history of great resistance and digestion. All of them came. So many of them for about 5 centuries, 6 centuries they were coming. But all of them had been finally been destroyed or absorbed and fitted into the Indian polity. That is the great capacity of India. Whereas afterwards, from the 8th century onwards, the barbarians from Arab, the first one was into Sindh, and for 400 years they could not do anything because Kandahar, Gandhara was part of India, and the Palas, Anandapala and other Palas, for about 500 years they stopped the incursions of these barbarian Central Asian hordes. That's a great thing. For 500 years nobody dared to come after they had tested what India could do to those who invade India. And for the next 500, 600, 800 years, that is after the Gandhara, after the Palas, the Punjab fell. Great Prithviraj Chauhan, so 17 times he defeated Muhammad Ghori. That was a great resistance of India. And afterwards, when the Turks came, the Mughals came, 1526, first battle of Panipat, Rana Sangha, and when the Rajputs were overcome, then came in the south the Vijayanagara Empire. For another 300 years, from 1338 to 1565, Battle of Talikota, and another 100 years thereafterwards, no Muslim could come into the south. When the Vijayanagara was exhausted, arose the Marathas, and the Muslim power in India was totally defeated. And the Hindu Padapadasahi, first time inspired by Ramadasa, and earlier the Vijayanagara kingdom was inspired by Swami Vidyaranya. It is Swami Vidyaranya who put nationalism. It is Swami Ramadas who gave the word Hindu Padapadasahi, and Shivaji and his other followers later on, all of them, the whole of India was conquered. India was got into the hands of the British, not from Muslims. It is from the Marathas, from the decline and demise of the Hindu Padapadasahi at the Battle of Koregaon Bhim in 1818, the last battle with the third Maratha war between the Indians and the British. It's a glorious history. There are no Egyptian civilization. There is no Greek civilization, there is no Roman civilization, there is no Aztec or Maya or Inca, all the Persian, all of them perish. So the Indian civilization and the Chinese civilization, these are the civilizational states. They are synonymous with civilization. Such a glorious past, no other country, China and India, have that one. Instead of highlighting the great national resistance, the great cultural nation that we were for thousands of years, a gang of Marxist historians presided over by Romila Thapar and so many others, S. Gopal. There is a host of people, all ensconced in the Jawaharlal Nehru University, calling themselves eminent historians, brilliant historians, masters, great intellectuals, etc., etc. They rewrote the histories. When the 34-year-long CPM government was ruling in West Bengal, the instructions was given for all the textbooks that the Muslim, nobody should say, no book should write that the Muslim invaders had broken down the temples. Nobody should say there was a conflict between Muslims. This is the type of perversion that has crept into historiography in India. And the nationalist ones like R.C. Mazumdar or Jaiswal and Sardesai, all their histories which are from the point of national resistance to the invaders, they were all bypassed. So history has been hijacked. The seats of intellectual activity, like the Indian history, that is Indian Council for Historical Research, Indian Council for Cultural Relations, Indian Council for Social Studies, and Jawaharlal Nehru University, all of them have been filled up with the Marxist resident non-Indians, RNIs. He is an NRI, he is a patriot. But the RNIs ensconced in these, so they occupied all the intellectual institutions to subvert India's people, India's history. One of the greatest inventions of them was composite culture. What is this composite culture? Why does it not exist in Pakistan? Why does it not exist in Bangladesh? Why should it exist only in India? No explanation for that one. So things like that, composite culture, and Hindus and Muslims living in peace. When did they live in peace? Never. And even today, the opposition through the Citizenship Amendment Act is coming from whom? From Muslims only. And who are helping them? Those who helped the Muslims in the Khilafat time, that is in far off Turkey, the Caliph was deposed, and no other Muslim country rose against it, but Indian Muslims, aided by Congress. What was the result of that one? Partition of India. Same thing today, their CIA, what are they saying? That Muslims from Pakistan also should be allowed along with the persecuted Hindus. Or the persecutors should be allowed to come to India. So what will be the natija? The same thing that happened in the aftermath of the Khilafat. That is militancy of the Muslims, and therefore heading towards another split in this country, for which 20 years ago one Professor Amar Abbas had written there should be another partition, and to create Mughalistan consisting of the western part of Assam and the northern areas of Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, to link up with the other one. So we have to see all these distortions in the history. The British could not do, but our people have been able to do, because they are our people. They are grown over here, but totally alienated from Mother India. So here we have, like me, I am an engineer. So Mr. Vedam is also an engineer in electrical engineering, but being a son of Bharat, that history should be understood. And the greatest traditions of India, and the greatest history, millennial history of India, every one of us must learn. Every one of us must be proud of it. It has been expunged, not during British times, but in the last 70 years under the rule of the Nehru dynasty, which has been infiltrated into by an Italian. This is the greatest harm that he has done. So friends, we will be having a great lecture from a great son of Bharat, but living in America, not forgetting his roots. Thank you very much. I welcome you.
మా వేకప్ ఇండియా .tv లేటెస్ట్ అప్డేట్స్ ముందుగా మీకు రావాలనుకుంటే సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేసుకోండి. అలాగే పక్కనున్న బెల్ ఐకాన్ ను క్లిక్ చేస్తే ఆల్, పర్సనలైజ్డ్, నన్ అనే ఆప్షన్స్ వస్తాయి. అందులో ఆల్ అనే ఆప్షన్ పై క్లిక్ చేయండి.